0.96. Hey guys, Sarge here. I am here for another episode of Shooting It with Two, and what we're going to discuss today is a battle belt setup. Should you have one? Should you not have one? And what are the pros and cons of it? Okay. I have my guest here as usual. Eddie, how are you doing?
Doing pretty good.
Okay, very nice, very nice. So, battle belts. Starting off, I look at the company for it. And that goes with anything, right? You have to have a solid company. I look for companies that use their own belts. Okay, meaning if the individual making the belt has no experience in the military, no experience in law enforcement, no experience in any field that runs the belt, where is he getting his information from on how to make it? How does he know how certain things should be fitted or anything like that, right? The belt company that I use is SubSecond. Me and Eddie both have them, but SubSecond Battle Belts. Okay, this is my go-to company for that. It is veteran-owned, special operations owned and operated, right? So that he uses them. He's had team members, things like that, use them, put them to the test before he started selling them. So those are things to look at. The quality of them is very important. I don't want to have to worry about the quality of my gear. And I have seen some to where their stitching comes off. You go to molly parts on and they're gone within a second. Like, it's just not good stuff, right? I once I molly stuff onto my battle belt, I don't touch it. Like, I don't touch it. So that's just my kind of opinion. What do you think about looking into battle belts?
Definitely do your research because quality stuff does have a quality cost with it, but don't cheap out. But like, buy once, cry once. All right, you don't want to be disappointed and have to spend so many hundreds of dollars going through belts to find out they don't work. For a long time before I actually got my SubSecond one, what I was showing in a second, I used to run this 511 battle belt. All right, just nice and neat. It works, but I figured I needed something else. More so, I find like not having molly on it, I'm limited to what kind of attachments I can put on it. But since I got my SubSecond battle belt, as you can see, have it set up, multicam black. I'm really happy with it. I just got this the other day, so I'm still testing out the kind of setups I want to run with it. But yeah, don't cheap out on the quality. And then, especially if you're looking for certain types, I definitely recommend the two belt system, the one that has the Velcro inner belt with the outer belt, just because it gives you a more secure platform on it than just kind of relying on friction with it just sitting under your waist. And you don't have to worry about the belt going anywhere as you're kind of moving. So that's just my key. Like, don't cheap out on the quality. That's just probably the biggest thing. They can get expensive depending on the companies that you go with, but if you go with the company that we use, SubSecond Battle Belt, like it's quality affordable, and then what you're getting, like, you should have paid 3 times as much for it. So, but that's just my personal opinion.
Yep. No, I absolutely agree. It's normally what I'll say too is, you if you look at other companies that make way more expensive belts, they are nowhere near the quality of this one, and that's kind of where it's like, man, I wish more people would understand it. Now, the purpose of one, okay, the purpose of one is not to wear it every time you go to the range, and I just want to make that point very clear.
But I want to look cool, Matt.
Excuse me?
But I want to look cool.
Yeah. Get a pair of aviators. Here's my thing when it comes to battle belts, things of that nature, right? When you go to the range, and the reason why I'm kind of ranting about it is I have seen a lot of people tell people, like, this is the gun you should carry. This is how you should shoot this concealed carry drill. This is X, Y, or Z, but they're wearing a freaking battle belt with all their mag pouches, with their 2 second with their half a second release holster and all this other crap. It is not realistic to what they are actually concealed carrying at all. Their magazine pouches are set up in a certain way to where they're real slick to get out. That is not how you conceal carry. And if it is, okay, cool, but I haven't seen it. I haven't seen it. Okay, I haven't seen you in summer, shorts and a t-shirt and flip-flops, walking around with your battle belt on. Okay, so why are we only training that way? And that's the issue I have. When you look at certain trainers, that's all you see them in, or these battle belts. You don't see them in anything else. When I taught your all's pistol class, what do you remember? What I was wearing?
I think you just had your instructor belt on. Then you throw maybe a pouch on that, or you keep the mag in your pocket.
I had shorts, or I think it was in shorts, my company polo, and I had an IFAC on my belt, and that was it.
Yep.
It was my Liberty gun belt, normal belt. It was not a battle belt with all these extra attachments and everything else. Think about that. Okay, why? Because we were going over concealed carry type stuff. We were going over. Now, if it was like for my law enforcement classes that I teach, I run it in a duty belt because that's what they're running it in. I have a similar holster to what they're using because that's what they're using. So those are kind of the things I want you guys to think about. So what's the purpose of it? Now, I use mine for the classes I talked about and for home defense. Why home defense? When I wake up in the middle of the night and I have my polka dot pajamas on, I don't want to have to grab from my night drawer my flashlight, my magazine, my pistol, my whatever it is, right? I can already have all that on me. So I have mine set up specifically so it will hold my magazines, it'll hold my pistol, it'll hold everything on there. So all I have to do is wake up and clip the belt on. And now I have my gun, I have magazines, and I have a light all right there on my belt. So then all I have to pick up is my rifle, and now I'm good. And I can go do whatever I need to go do, and my hands don't have a bunch of crap in them. So for a home defense aspect, I think battle belts are 100% necessary to have, right? If you have one, have realistic stuff on it, okay? I personally don't use drop pouches. If I drop it, I'll pick it up when stuff's done. Like, I'm not that dude that takes his mag, throws it in the drop pouch. I don't care. It's empty. What do I need it for? Like, I'm not going to hold on to it, okay? If it is no longer serving me a purpose, it doesn't matter to me anymore, okay? This isn't a World War 29 situation to where we only have 6 mags and that's all we can ever get, and we can't get any more magazines, so we need to hold them and keep them precious. Not the situation when it's in my house. Okay, once I get rid of Johnny Bad Guy and Bobo the Clown, I can go back and pick them up, and I'm good to rock and roll. Okay, so I don't really care about drop, the drop pouches, whatever they're called. I don't care about them. I keep a magazine holster, pistol holster, obviously, rifle holster or rifle mag holster, and a IFAC, and that's all I run. What do you got on yours?
Running the same thing. I got 2. Actually, I guess I can show it. So I keep 2 rifle pouches, 2 pistol pouches. Holster, this is the LAS Concealment Tizona, or Tizona, however you say it, RS. Tourniquet, and then IFAC, and then hearing protection. Now, here's my mindset why I keep hearing protection on my battle belt. A lot of people say, like, oh, you're not going to have time to worry about protecting your hearing in a firefight. In a home defense situation, especially with electronic hearing protection nowadays, where it amplifies your hearing, like, that's information that can help you. So that's why I believe in keeping it there. And plus, like, shooting aside, I don't want to blow out my hearing, because then if I blow out my hearing and I can't hear anything that's going on, in a worse situation. So that's why I believe in keeping it on there, especially for a home defense situation. More so thing I see, and this is more so for my civilian friends who enjoy shooting, but they have nothing to do with law enforcement, no prior military, they're not on a SWAT team, they're not on a threat response team. It's like keeping flexi cuffs and handcuffs on their battle belt, and I ask them, they're like, oh, like, active shooter situation, I detain the guy, I wait for the police to show up. Hey, it's okay to dream.
Yeah, you're watching
that's not realistic.
John Wick SWAT movie.
So that's kind of like the unnecessary stuff that I've seen on it. Or
gun to his temple detains him just fine.
Or like guys who rock like full size like bayonets on their battle belts because they were like, I'm gonna get my confirmed knife kill today. I'm like, stop, just stop. Like,
I don't. That's I don't have a knife on mine. When I'm carrying every day, I have a knife, things like that. But the setup I have it for, I don't need a knife. In my opinion, I don't need a knife because I have 2 guns. So I don't.
Right.
Okay. With the hearing protection, we talked about this before. I keep mine on my rifle. Um,
Mhm.
I'm picking up my rifle. So I
Yep.
pick up my rifle. For me to put my rifle into action, I have to, oh crap, what are these? It's very important. If we even look at the Walmart, the El Paso Walmart active shooter, he
Mhm.
wore electronic ear pro. He wore it, and nobody reported it or anything like that, really. But I
Mhm.
think he did it so he could hear people. Because if you have never shot a gun inside of a closed building
Mhm.
without hearing protection, you don't hear anything. Like all these TV shows and movies where you see them getting these firefights and they're indoors and like they just go back to talking normal, that is not real. That
Yep.
is not real, especially if you're shooting a rifle. If you're shooting a 5.56, a 300 blackout, a 308, whatever it is, indoors
Mhm.
without hearing protection, yeah, okay. You're not having a normal conversation 2 seconds afterwards. You're going to be screaming, and the other person's going to be like, "What?"
Mhm.
So that's the kind of you need to get out of that TV movie mindset and think more
Mhm.
realistically with it. Also, I've seen some people talk about, well, I want to use a silencer on my rifle or on my pistol for home defense. I don't. I want everyone to hear it. That's just my kind of thought process with it. Um,
Mhm.
Also, that's just how I feel about it. With the battle belt setup,
Mhm.
it is important to train in it, right? Especially if I'm
Right.
using for home defense, it is important to train in it.
Mhm.
But we don't need to think that that is the only way to train.
Mhm.
That's my thought. What do you think?
No, I agree, especially if you don't find yourself like the way like I have this setup, like there's no way I could conceal that underneath the shirt without making it blatantly obvious that I'm hiding something.
Right.
So if you're gonna train with it, train for a purpose. So if you do take it to the range, it shouldn't be on a static like indoor range, just aiming at the paper that's going back and forth and it's not moving. This is more so if you're going out, if, like maybe you have the accessibility to a range like you do, where you could set up home defense situations where you'd actually have to employ it. So that's why I've seen training, but like just going to the range down the street, indoor, having it all the time, like that's not the way to do it. Like that's improper training with it, in my opinion. So
Yeah.
if you're going to use it, you should employ in realistic situations that where you would have to employ it. So that's how you should be training with it.
Well, and I think too, like one, you wearing the battle belt doesn't make you shoot better.
Correct.
It doesn't do anything. So what you could do it for is for your dry fire practice. So
Mm-hmm.
while you're home, you can put your battle belt on and make sure it all fits properly. Make sure you can
Mm-hmm.
get to the pouches properly.
Yep.
That's something a lot of people normally have issues with is they don't realize until they get to training or they get to real life situations that, oh, I wish I had this pouch a little bit more to the left.
Mm-hmm.
So for me, what I normally do is I put the belt on first, and then I go ahead and think, okay, well, I kind of want it to be here or here. I
Mm-hmm.
put the pouches on, and it's like, okay, I want it moved over a little bit more, so it's easier for me to get to.
Yep.
Something that I kind of do is I make sure that I can get to both sides with
Mm-hmm.
both hands.
Mm-hmm.
So if my left arm's down and I need to reload, I still want to be able to reach my magazines on my left side with my right hand. But if
Yep.
I have them too far back, I can't get to those.
Mm-hmm.
Another thing, if all my stuff is up in the front, but I go in a prone or a supine position or something like that, how is
Mm-hmm.
that interfering with it, right? So
Yep.
that's something else you need to think about. Do not think that you're just going to be standing up the whole time,
Mm-hmm.
because that might not be the case. So I try to make sure I can have full movement. I can roll around. And I'm still going to be fine. Because what I would hate to have is where you're set up in a certain way, you get in a hand fight
Yep.
situation with a guy, and your gear is now helping him because you're
Mm-hmm.
getting poked or you're getting whatever it is, and you can't access
Mm-hmm.
certain items because of where you had them placed at. So
Yep.
I would go ahead and prep all of those with that off the bat. Um,
Mm-hmm.
Another thing is what. Okay, so this is goes into it. I think goes into
Okay.
with it. If you're running a plate carrier,
Mm-hmm.
you have plates in your plate carrier.
Yes,
Okay,
you should.
so okay, so
Oh
to the
God.
jackwagon on the internet out there. Um,
Uh-huh.
there's just a new insurgence of instructors or people teaching out in the
Mm-hmm.
world with their groups. And they wear all the multicam and they have all their
Mm-hmm.
beards and they have all their tribal tattoos and stuff like that. Um, who are advocating that you shouldn't have plate carriers with plates because it's just going to slow you down. Okay, if you don't train in your gear, yeah, it's heavy and it sucks. But if you
Yep.
train in your gear, you're going to be really happy that you have it. I've never
Mm-hmm.
heard of anyone who got shot in the chest and a plate stopped them from dying that said, "Man, I wish I didn't have this plate." I've never heard that. So I wear a battle belt with a whole bunch of stuff on it, right? My plate carrier also has some stuff on it, but it's primarily there for the plates.
Yep.
Okay. If you have a plate carrier, wear a plate. What,
Mm-hmm.
what what are some thoughts you have with that?
No, that's simple as it is. If you're gonna rock a plate carrier and have plates in it, like otherwise, just don't wear it because needs what you think, but the shell itself will not stop a bullet.
Absolutely.
It won't.
Absolutely. Something I want to point out too, which I think is actually kind of cool with the SubSecond Battle Belts.
Mm-hmm.
The one that I have with them, and I don't know if all their belts have it or not, but I got the Cobra buckle.
Yep.
Um,
Mm-hmm.
what I like about the Cobra buckles, one, it's very fast to click them on, click them off, but it's also a great racking point for your pistol. So if
Mm-hmm.
my pistol goes down or whatever it is, having that Cobra buckle is a wonderful place to put your rear sight to rack the slide.
Yep.
So that's what I think. Do you have any closing thoughts with the battle belt setup or anything?
Um. So one, not really a closing out, more so a question for you. Do you have the elastic on yours, or you just have the straight molly?
Show me what you mean. Show me what you mean.
So for mine, like mine's strictly molly. I don't have like the expandable little elastic parts that come out here. Do you have that on yours?
Yeah, I do, but I'm not using it.
Okay. No, I was just curious to see how yours was set up. Like,
Yeah. So the way that mine is set up is
mhm,
what he's referring to, guys. So there is this little elastic portion that's coming out here. I don't use those at all. What I have is the molly in the back, which is how yours is set up too. I just
yep.
use it for that. It holds it a whole lot tighter. I have nothing to really clip that to. Now, what I
Mhm,
do have set up is on my handheld flashlight. I have 550 cord wrapped around the bottom of it. I have a
mhm,
D-ring that I hook to that elastic molly, and I'll clip
mhm.
the 550 cord. So that way,
Okay.
I have a handheld flashlight set up right there if I need it. But
Mhm.
that's really all I use that elastic for.
Yep.
So,
All right. Cool. I was just curious.
all
Uh,
right. Well,
just
hey guys, this is something to look at with the battle belt. For me, at a bare minimum, you should have on your battle belt a source of medical equipment, right?
mhm,
Um, it would really suck if somebody got shot or somebody got injured that you loved or cared for, and you didn't have medical stuff with you, right? Uh,
yep.
Source of ammunition. If I run out, I'd love to have a whole lot more. There are a lot of individuals to where maybe someone breaks into your home, something like that happens, and you shoot a lot, right? Maybe you
Mhm,
need to reload, but you forgot your spare magazine upstairs. This is a great way to make sure you have a bunch of magazines with you. Okay, so that is just and maybe not even shot a lot. Maybe you had a malfunction. Think about if I'm going and clearing my home and I shoot 2 rounds and my gun jams. Is it quicker
mhm,
to sit there and mess with the jam, or is it faster just to reload the gun? Me personally, I'm just dropping the mag and reloading the gun. If it's a serious one, that's when, okay, I have a second one, and things like that would go into it. So those are kind of the things that I look for when it comes to a battle belt. I appreciate you guys for tuning in and watching. If you all have any questions about how to set up a battle belt, what to look for, what to kind of
mhm.
stay away from, please let us know. We'll definitely be active in the
Yep.
comment section. We'll answer any of the questions you guys have. Stay tuned for more. Sarge out.